Hey, what's up? My name's Brandon. I'm tackling another social issue. Let's press this issue. This one's going to be about military and Obama. And, other things Obama's working with. So, people are upset because Obama, under his administration, in the first term, actually, he killed Osama bin Laden, but he put Navy SEALs in danger because their identities got out. One of them wrote a book, so I don't think you can necessarily say he was in hiding in any way. I do admit, from a logical standpoint, giving out the names of Navy SEALs who killed Osama is a big problem because people who are with Osama, and now that he's dead, are going to want revenge. I'm going to say some names right now. Thomas R. Norris, Michael A. Mansour, Donald L. McFall, Richard Makowitz, that was from Deadliest Warrior, Chris Kyle, Joseph D. Kernan, D is his middle initial, Larson Jensen, Harry Humphreys. These are all Navy SEALs. Some of them current, some of them like former, as in, they're out of Navy SEALs but they're still in the military. Some of them retired. I have an entire list of these people who are either currently or were Navy SEAls. There's not much to hide in terms of name. It's out there. Number one, regular people can probably pretty easily get the names of Navy SEAls, even ones that are active duty right now. Number two, all military personnel have their names on record forever. The only time people say that the names are only held for a certain amount of time, those are people who are impersonating the military. They're liars. Okay, records of people in the military, they legally have to stay there forever. And in many cases, they're public accessible. You're allowed to see what operations they were in. You're not allowed to see what happened on the operation. That's a legitimate thing to hide from the public, because maybe someone who's in the public is actually a spy. That would be a problem. But you can at least know what they were involved in loosely, and when they were on active duty. So, the only time anyone's identity is ever held as a secret is if they're so black ops that what they're doing is not even supposed to ever be known to the public. So, if we're supposed to know that Osama died because we killed him, then the people who killed him, their names can be known. The only time the names are hidden is when the action is not meant to be seen by anyone. So, obviously, you can't kill a leader of a terrorist organization and expect that to stay hidden. Fuck it, we let them know the names. So yeah, that's not something that people should hate Obama for. And you can complain all you want about how he doesn't get anything done, but he killed Osama, that's one thing. And economically, and here you have two options. You have one candidate who has nothing but bad ideas, and they get passed. The other candidate, he has good ideas that don't get passed. He has bad ideas that don't get passed. And he has average-ish ideas that are compromises that do get passed. This one's Obama. I'd rather have this guy, because I'd rather have even stagnation, even nothing change at all, than get worse. Because even staying level is a better option to getting worse. So I don't get why people have to hate Obama for that. And I can see you hating him for the whole healthcare thing. I mean, that's a whole big issue. We're becoming socialist, but is socialism a bad idea? Socialism can be a good thing. And political issues and economic issues that go with, capitalism and federalism versus communism, we can talk about that in another video. But my main point, I'm getting sick of everyone who bitches at Obama. Obama this, Obama that, it's Obama's fault. Really? Really, motherfucker? Is it Obama's fault you have high blood pressure? Is it Obama's fault your wife got pregnant? And even though you were taking birth control, and you were using condoms, she had birth control, you had all that stuff? Is it Obama's fault that a doctor fucked up? Someone blamed Obama because of a mistake a doctor made. Let me explain. There was a picture, and this is on one of those links on Facebook, so it might not even be a real story. It might just be a stupid made-up story to get likes. But there was a baby born, allegedly, who had some growth around her ear, and the growth kept going up and up, and the doctors around the, child center of, in labor women, I don't know what the hell you call that part of the hospital, just where they're born, they said, oh, that's probably nothing, it might go away, and legitimately stuff like that does happen, and it goes away, because it's not a growth, like a tumor. It turns out for this girl it was a tumor, and it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it took up half her face, and they had to surgically remove it. And in the comments someone said, this is what you get when you have Obamacare, this is what you get under Obama's administration, and they got like 55 or 56 thumbs up, likes on that. Here's my point on why that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. So you're saying because of Obama on his healthcare things, which were not even approved yet, so that doesn't count. So because of Obama, you see how there's a missing link now, doctors made bad decisions, but doctors are not exactly held underneath presidential rule. So further down the chain, let me get my other hand in there. Down here is the doctor. Up here is Obama. You see how I have all these fingers in between? Those are all the different stages in between connecting Obama to this doctor and his mistake. If you say Obama's the reason this doctor made this horrendous mistake and forced this girl to have a tumor grow so big it had to get cut off her face, and it was this big, and it started out like the size of my pinky, blaming him is like blaming the principal for bad students at a high school. It's not the principal's fault. Name me a high school with no bad kids. Name me one. I'm from Berwyn. There's Fenwick High School. That's a high school that children of doctors and lawyers go to. That's a private, like, pre-college high school. There are bad kids there. Matter of fact, ask anyone on either Berwyn or Cicero PD. They love arresting these children because, dear God, they're gonna love telling the parents. These kids do get in trouble. And they're also little shits at school. And in many cases, they don't want to try. For different reasons. Some of them end up druggy, some of them defy their parents, some of them have other interests. But you can't blame the principal for that. You can't blame all the teachers for that even. And you can't blame the parents. At what point does our own responsibility come into effect? At what point? You can look at, and this is a little weird, but it's, just watch a show, My Name is Earl. Watch that, and you'll understand things. Like, there was a person on My Name is Earl who blamed his parents for everything. It's their fault that he acts a certain way. It's their fault for not loving him. It's their fault for not being affectionate enough. That's why he gets a free pass to be bad. And that's why he's in prison. It's their fault he's in prison. At what point are you just being a selfish little shit? I don't think it's his parents' fault entirely. I think they started it. I don't think it kept being their fault as you got older. And it's the same thing that I can say for other things like, doctors. Maybe this doctor was always stressed out and always kept researching into every patient, and it turns out nothing's wrong with them, they're fine, nothing's wrong. And one of their coworkers said, take it easy, man, you keep worrying that something insignificant is something bad, let it go. And then this happened. Are you going to, with that knowledge, blame the coworker for telling the doctor to not research everything so much on the patients? Well, at that point, let's use that logic for other crime. What if you look at a murderer who planned to kill an innocent person who did no wrong to them? This was all premeditated, so it's first-degree murder. And it was to take possessions that belonged to this person. Now, you can arrest the person. You can arrest anyone who drove the car to get him there and drove the car to get him away. But how loose is the connection going to be where you'll arrest them? I mean, things like this happen where they think about arresting the people who sold the guns. The people who sold the guns have no idea of knowing who's going to be a criminal, who's just going to look for self-defense at home. And even with that, sometimes they do get arrested and they lose their licensing to sell guns, which I think is stupid. But there's even a point where you gotta ask, are you gonna arrest the mom too? Are you gonna arrest the mom for giving birth to the son who committed the crime? I mean, how far back in the chain are you gonna go where you're arresting people? I mean, eventually it's gonna lead to you. So, just be responsible for your own actions, dear God. It's not Obama's fault, okay? It's everyone's fault for everyone's issues, because everyone does it, okay? That's why people who are president age 2 or 3 times as fast, because you have the pressure of everyone in the country blaming their problems on you. Obama's not a bad guy. I'm not saying he's the best president. I like Bill Clinton. And no haha pervy jokes, no. We had a surplus with Bill Clinton. He was legitimately pretty good. So, yeah. I don't know. I'm not gonna defend Obama's honor like I'm a fanboy, but just keep these things in mind when you talk about politics, okay? That's all I ask. And that was pressing the issue. Next issue we're gonna talk about is feminism. My opinion on it, you'll probably be offended, but it'll make you think. And that's my time. Have fun, y'all.